हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्णा माता जी।
Where were we? 53, no?
माता जी, we completed 53,
Acha,
18.53
yeah.
on
Okay.
Friday.
Okay. We'll start with the prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaya Kadamahyam Dadanti Swapadantikam Nama Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Haraya Nama Krishnaya Yadavaya Namaha Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha Hariharaya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Yadavaya Madhavaya Govindaya Namaha Sri Krishna Hari Bol Gopala Hari Bol Radharamana Govinda Hari Bol Sri Krishna Hari Bol Gopala Hari Bol Radharamana Govinda Hari Bol जय राधा गोविंद राधा गोविंद राधे जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय पंचतत्व जय पंचतत्व पंचतत्व जय पंचतत्व जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा निताय गौर हरि बो हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बो. So welcome you all to the Bhakti Shastri class. So before we start, yes, how many of you are still pending to submit the OBAs?
Mataji, Sanju Mataji and Prasanajit Prabhu have to submit. They said that they'll be submitting today.
Okay. Rest all of you have submitted, no?
Yeah, rest have submitted Mataji. Only those the two sisters, that is the Shruti and Sneha Mataji. I think they won't be submitting. They want to do the module again. Module 3, they may be doing again.
Mm-hmm.
So they won't be submitting. So now we are expecting documents only from Prasannachit Prabhu and Sanju Mataji.
So totally how many devotees are there?
Total, we have 10 devotees, Mataji. So we'll be getting documents only from 10 minus 2, that is 8.
Eight है क्या? I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
No, in the call, yeah, in the call, all are not there. Shravan Prabhu is not there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. One more Prabhu also you have written the name. Now what is his name? He is not returning.
Biju Prabhu.
Biju Prabhu?
Biju Prabhu. Biju Shri.
Biju Prabhu is has submitted documents with another batch, Mataji. He's also studying Bhakti Shastri with Aishwarya Mataji. So he's submitting the OBS there, Mataji. So that's why I didn't mention his name. I have marked it blank.
Okay. Then it's okay. Okay, that's fine then. So let's start our journey. Thank you so much, devotees, from my side. Why? Because I was so busy all these days, running to take class by 7 p.m. But with Krishna's mercy and all your cooperation, now I can reach home early.
Hare Bol, Mataji.
Yeah, so it's a devotee association, Mataji, which has helped me in relieving certain responsibilities. I'm very much thankful to Krishna for giving me space to spare time with the devotees and do some service. Yeah.
So, shall I read the shloka, Mataji?
Yes, Ma, you can start.
Okay. Shloka 18.54 Brahmabhuta prasannatma na sochati na kankshati samasarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktim labhate param. Word to word, Brahmabhuta, being one with the Absolute, prasannatma, fully joyful, na, never, sochati, laments, na, never, kankshati, desires, samaha, equal disposed, Sarveshu, to all, Bhuteshu, living entities, Mad Bhaktim, my devotional service, Labhate, gains, Param, transcendental. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. One who is thus transcendently situated at once realizes the Supreme Brahman and becomes fully joyful. He never laments or desires to have anything. He is equally disposed toward every living entity. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me. Purport to the impersonalist, achieving the Brahma Bhuta stage, becoming one with the Absolute, is the last word. But for the personalist or pure devotee, one has to go still further to become engaged in pure devotional service. This means that one who is engaged in pure devotional service to the Supreme Lord is already in a state of liberation called Brahma Bhuta, oneness with the Absolute. Without being one with the Supreme, the Absolute, one cannot render service unto Him. In the Absolute conception, there is no difference between the served and the servitor. Yet the distinction is there in a higher spiritual sense. In the material concept of life, when one works for sense gratification, there is misery. But in the absolute world, when one is engaged in pure devotional service, there is no misery. The devotee in Krishna consciousness has nothing for which to lament or desire. Since God is full, a living entity who is engaged in God's service in Krishna consciousness becomes also full in himself. He is just like a river cleansed of all dirty water. Because a pure devotee has no thought other than Krishna, he is naturally always joyful. He does not lament for any material loss or aspire for gain, because he is full in the service of the Lord. He has no desire for material enjoyment because he knows that every living entity is a fragmental part and parcel of the Supreme Lord and therefore eternally a servant. He does not see in the material world someone as higher and someone as lower. Higher and lower positions are ephemeral, and a devotee has nothing to do with the ephemeral appearances or disappearances. For him, stone and gold are of equal value. This is the Brahma Bhuta stage. And this stage is attained very easily by the pure devotee. In that stage of existence, The idea of becoming one with the Supreme Brahman and annihilating one's individuality becomes hellish. The idea of attaining the heavenly kingdom becomes phantasmagoria, and the senses are like serpents whose poison teeth are broken. As there is no fear of a serpent with broken teeth, there is no fear from the senses when they are automatically controlled. The world is miserable for the materially infected person, but for a devotee, the entire world is as good as Vaikuntha or the spiritual sky. The highest personality in this material universe is no more significant than an ant for a devotee. Such a stage can be achieved by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, who preached pure devotional service in this stage. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, yeah, here the analogy given is that of the
Serpent.
serpent. So, we are also similar to that. So, if our senses are surrendered onto the Lord, we are like the same without a bag of poison, I can say. So, the devotee, who is constantly practicing and engaging his time in Krishna consciousness, automatically will get liberated from all the things which are entangling him. So in that way, anything, the reward or the punishment or good, bad, any situations remain the same. Okay. So similarly, sadhana is the only things which uh, which will help us to progress. Okay. Hare Krishna. Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Bhaktya Mam Abhijananti Yavan Yashya Chasmi Tattvataha Tato Mam Tattvato Jnatva Vishate Tat Anantaram. Translation and purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. One can understand me as I am, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, only by devotional service, and when one is in full conscious of me by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. Perfect. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, and his plenary portion cannot be understood by material speculation, nor by the non-devotee. If anyone want to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he has to take to pure devotional service under the guidance of a pure devotee. Otherwise, the truth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead will always be hidden, as already stated in Bhagavad Gita 7.2.5. Naham prakasha sarvasya. He is not revealed to everyone. No one can understand God simply by erudite scholarship or mental speculation. Only one who is actually engaged in Krishna consciousness and devotional service can understand what Krishna is. University degree are not helpful. One who is fully conversant with the Krishna science become eligible to enter into the spiritual kingdom. The board of Krishna becoming Brahman does not mean that one lose his identity. Devotional service is there, and as long as devotional service exists, there must be God, the devotee, and the process of devotional service. Such knowledge is never vanquished. Even after liberation, liberation involves getting free from the concept of material life. In spiritual life, the same distinction is there. The same individuality is there. But in pure Krishna consciousness, one should not mistakenly think that the word Vishvate enters into me. Okay. Again reading. One should not mistakenly think that that the word Vishate enter into me. Support the monist theory that one become homogeneous with the impersonal Brahman. No, Vishate means that one can and
No, Visate means that one can enter the abode of Supreme Lord in.
Again, this is the second time is coming. Vishate means that one can enter into the abode of the Supreme Lord in one's individuality to engage in his association and render service unto him. For instance, a green bird enters a green tree not to become one with the tree, but to enjoy the fruits of the tree. Impersonalists generally give the example of a river from flowing into the ocean and merging. This may be a source of happinesses for the impersonalist, but the personalist keep his personal individuality like a aquatic in the ocean. We find so many living entity within the ocean. If we go deep surface, acquaintance with the ocean is not sufficient. One must have complete knowledge of aquatic living in the ocean depths. Because of his pure devotional service, a devotee can understand the transcendental qualities and the opulences of the Supreme Lord in truth. As it is stated in the 11th chapter, only by devotional service can one understand. The same is confirmed here. One can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead by devotional service and enter into his kingdom. After attainment of the Brahmabhuta stage of freedom from material conception, devotional service began by one's hearing about the Lord. When one hears about the Supreme Lord, automatically the Brahmabhuta stage develops. And material contamination, greediness, and lust for sense enjoyment disappears. As lust and desire disappear from the heart of a devotee, he becomes more attached to the service of the Lord. And by such attachment, by becoming free from material contamination, in that state of life, he can understand the Supreme Lord. This is the statement of Srimad Bhagavatam. Also, after liberation, the process of bhakti or transcendental service. Continue the Vedanta Sutras 4.1.12 confirms the prayanat tatrapi iti drishtam. This means that after liberation, the process of devotional service continues. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, real devotional liberation is defined as the reinstatement of the living entity in his own identity. His own constitutional position, the constitutional position, is already explained. Every living entity is a part and parcel of fragmental portion of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, his constitutional position is to serve after liberation. This service is never stopped. Actually, liberation is getting free from the misconception of life. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you. Hare Krishna Mataji, I am in mute rest of the session. Thank you.
So, we take step towards the Lord, engage ourselves in service. Automatically, things which are unwanted, things which are materially contaminating will automatically get rid. Okay. So it is directly proportional to the amount of services we are rendering towards the Lord. Yes, Manjula Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Text 56. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sarvakarmanyaphi sada kurvano madvyapashrayah matprasadat avapnoti shashvatam padam avyayam. Synonyms: Sarva, all, karmani, activities, api, although, sada, always, purvanaha, performing, madvyapashrayah, under my protection, mad, prasadat, by my mercy, avapnoti, one achieves, Shashwatam, the eternal, Padam, abode, Avyayam, imperishable. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: Though engaged in all kinds of activities, my pure devotee under my protection reaches the eternal and imperishable abode by my grace. Purport: The word Madhyapashraya means under the protection of the Supreme Lord, to be free from material contamination. A pure devotee acts under the direction of the Supreme Lord or his representative, the spiritual master. There is no time limitation for a pure devotee. He is always 24 hours a day, 100% engaged in activities under the direction of the Supreme Lord. To a devotee who is thus engaged in Krishna consciousness, the Lord is very, very kind. In spite of all difficulties, he is eventually placed in the transcendental abode or Krishna Loka. His guaranteed entrance there. There is no doubt about it. In that supreme abode, there is no change. Everything is eternal, imperishable, and full of knowledge. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So the devotee who takes the shelter of the Lord, he is 100% under his protection all time, 24 hours a day, 100% when they are engaging activities under the direction of the Lord. So he is well protected, fully immunized, fully vaccinated, isn't it?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. Next. Can continue, Mataji.
Okay, Mataji. चेतसा सर्वकर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्पराः बुद्धियोगम् उपाश्रित्य मच्चित्तः सततं भव. Synonyms: Chetasa, by intelligence, Sarvakarmani, all kinds of activities, my, unto me, Sannyasa, giving up, Matparaha, under my protection, Buddhi Yogam, devotional activities, Upashritya, taking shelter of, Matchittaha, in consciousness of me, Satatam, 24 hours a day, Bhava, just become. Translation: In all activities, just depend upon me and work always under my protection. In such devotional service, be fully conscious of me. Purport: When one acts in Krishna consciousness, he does not act as the master of the world. Just like a servant, one should act fully under the direction of the Supreme Lord. A servant has no individual independence. He acts only on the order of the master. A servant acting on behalf of the Supreme Master is unaffected by profit and loss. He simply discharges his duty faithfully in terms of the order of the Lord. Now, one may argue that Arjuna was acting under the personal direction of Krishna, but when Krishna is not present, how should one act? If one acts according to the direction of Krishna in this book, as well as under the guidance of the representative of Krishna, then the result will be the same. The Sanskrit word matpara is very important in this verse. It indicates that one has no goal in life save and except acting in Krishna consciousness just to satisfy Krishna. And while working in that way, one should think of Krishna only. I have been appointed to discharge this particular duty by Krishna. While acting in such a way, one naturally has to think of Krishna. This is perfect Krishna consciousness. One should, however, note that after doing something whimsically, he should not offer the result to the Supreme Lord. That sort of duty is not in the devotional service of Krishna consciousness. One should act according to the order of Krishna. This is a very important point. That order of Krishna comes through disciplic succession from the bona fide spiritual master. Therefore, the spiritual master's order should be taken as the prime duty of life. If one gets a bona fide spiritual master and acts according to his direction, then one's perfection of life in Krishna consciousness is guaranteed. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, only purpose in life is to act for Krishna's, work under the direction of the bona fide spiritual master who comes from the disciplinic succession. If we we take it as our goal in a life and act accordingly, so we are fully under protection of Lord Krishna and going back to Godhead is guaranteed. Yes, Mataji. Can read one more.
Yes, Mataji. 59, right, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. 58.
58. मच्चित्तः सर्वदुर्गाणि मत्प्रसादात् तरिष्यसि अथ चेत् त्वम् अहङ्कारं श्रोयसि विनाङ्क्ष्यसि. Synonyms: mat of me, chittaha being in consciousness, sarva all, durgani impediments, mat prasadat by my mercy, tarishyasi you will overcome, atha but, chet if, tvam you, ahankarat by false ego, Nashroshyasi, do not hear. Vinankshasi, you will be lost. Translation: if you become conscious of me, you will pass over all the obstacles of conditioned life by my grace. If, however, you do not walk in such consciousness, but act through false ego, not hearing me, you will be lost. Purport: a person in full Krishna consciousness is not unduly anxious about executing the duties of his existence. The foolish cannot understand this great freedom from all anxiety. For one who acts in Krishna consciousness, Lord Krishna becomes the most intimate friend. He always looks after his friend's comfort, and he gives himself to his friend who is so devotedly engaged working 24 hours a day to please the Lord. Therefore, no one should be carried away by the false ego of the bodily concept of life. One should not falsely think himself independent of the laws of material nature or free to act. He is already under strict material laws, but as soon as he acts in Krishna consciousness, he is liberated, free from the material perplexities. One should note very carefully that one who is not active in Krishna consciousness is losing himself in the material whirlpool, in the ocean of birth and death. No conditioned soul actually knows what is to be done and what is not to be done. But a person who acts in Krishna consciousness is free to act because everything is prompted by Krishna from within and confirmed by the spiritual master. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So one should act soulfully, not on a material platform. Then only things will be in a positive way, which will help us to progress further in the spiritual life. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Next, who wanted to read?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Every time you put one name, sometimes your account,
Oh,
sometimes
sorry.
your some other.
Okay.
Okay. Just by your voice, we have to.
Oh, Surya, yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna, sorry. 59 sloka. Yat ahankaram asritya nayosva iti manyase mityaisa vyavasayaspe prakritis tvam niyogyati. Synonyms: yet, if, ahankaram, false ego, ashritya, taking shelter, na yotse, I shall not fight, iti thus, manyase, you think, mithya esha, this is all, this is all false, mithya esha, vyavasaya, determination, te your, prakriti, material nature, tvam you, niyogyasi, niyogyase, Seti will engage. Translation purport given by Bhakti Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. If you don't act according to my direction and do not fight, if you don't act according to my direction and do not fight, then you will be falsely directed. By your nature, you will have to engage in warfare. Purport Mataji? Oh, sorry. Purport. Hmm. Arjuna was a military man and born of the nature of the Kshatriya. Therefore, his natural duty was to fight. But due to false ego, he was fearing that by killing his teacher, grandfather, and friends, he would incur sinful reactions. Actually, he was considering himself master of his actions, as if he were directing the good and bad results of such work. He forgot that the Supreme Personality of Godhead was present there, instructing him to fight. That is the that is the forgetfulness of the conditioned soul. The Supreme Personality gives directions as to what is good and what is bad. And one simply has to act in Krishna consciousness to attain the perfection of life. No one can ascertain his destiny as the Supreme Lord can. Therefore, the best course is to take direction from the Supreme Lord and act. No one should neglect the other order of the Supreme Personality of No one should neglect the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead or the order of the spiritual master, who is the representative of God. One should act unhesitantly to execute the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One should act unhesitantly to execute the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead that will keep one safe under all circumstances. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Arjuna was under the influence of false ego. He's thinking in the first chapter that he will incur sinful reaction by killing his own kith and kin. But ultimately, when he's been instructed by the spiritual master, the Lord Himself, uh, He gave him the required directions to know what is good and what is bad. And He said just to simply act in the Krishna consciousness, have the transcendental knowledge about the Lord. And when he has taken up the path, and ultimately he was fit to wage the war against his own people because he is doing it as a matter of a duty under the direction of the spiritual master. So, once we are under the control of any spiritual master or the or a household also, or wherever we are in the workplace also, we just have to obey the orders of the superiors who are guiding us. In that way, we will not incur any sins which which are bound to that particular action. Okay, so this is example with today personal interactions. Hare Krishna. Shravan Prabhu, you can read one more.
Yes, Master. स्वभावार्जेन कौन्तेय निबद्धस्वेन कर्मणा कर्तुं नेच्छसि यन्मोहात् करिष्यासि अवसो अपि तत् synonyms स्वभावार्जेन born of your own nature Kaunteya son of Kunti nibaddaha conditioned svena by your own karmana activities kartum to do not just you like yet that which mohat by illusion karishyasi you will do avasaha avashaha involuntarily api even that translation under illusion you are now declining to act according to my direction but compelled by the work born of your own nature you will act all the same o son of Kunti perfect if one refuses to act under the direction of supreme lord then he is compelled to act by the modes in which he is situated everyone is under the spell of particular combination everyone is under the spell of particular combination of the modes of the nature and is acting in that way. But anyone who voluntarily engages himself under the direction of the Supreme Lord becomes glorious. Hare Krishna.
So one has to be in the mode of a goodness, voluntarily engage in the direction of Supreme Lord or the bona fide spiritual master will automatically be liberated. Next. Prasanna Chitta Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Next.
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ईश्वर सर्वभूतानां हृद्येषु अर्जुन तिष्ठति ब्राह्मयान् सर्वभूतानि यन्त्रारूढानि मायया synonyms Ishvara, the Supreme Lord, Sarvabhutanam of all living entities, Hrideshi, in the location of the art, Arjuna, oh Arjuna, Tishtati, this resides, Brahmayan, causing to travel, Sarvabhutani, all living entities, Yantra, on a machine, Aruddhani, being placed. Maya under the spell of material energy. Translation and purport is by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wandering of all living entities who are seated on a machine made of material energy. Purport. Arjuna was not the supreme knower, and his decision to fight or not to fight was confirmed by his limited discretion. Lord Krishna instructed that the individual is not all in all. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, or He Himself, Krishna, as a localized super soul, sits in the heart directing the living being. After changing bodies, the living entity forgets his past deeds, but the super soul, as the knower of the past, present, and future, remains the witness of all activities. Therefore, all the activities of living entities are directed by his super soul. The living entity gets what it deserves and is carried by the material body which is created in the material energy under the direction of the super soul. As soon as the living entity is placed in a particular type of body, he has to work under the spell of the bodily situation. A person seated in a high speed motor car goes faster than one seated in a slower car. Through the living entities, the drivers may be the same. Similarly, by the order of the Supreme Soul, material nature fashions a particular type of body to a particular type of living entity, so that he may work according to his past desires. The living entity is not independent. One should not think himself independent of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The individual is always under the Lord's control. Therefore, one's duty is to surrender, and that is the instruction of the next verse. Hare Krishna.
Continue, Prabhu.
तं एव शरणं गच्छ सर्वभावेन भारत तत्प्रसादात् परं शान्तिं स्थानं प्राप्स्यसि शाश्वतम्. Synonyms: तं, unto him, eva, certainly, sharanam, gaccha, surrender, sarvabhavena, in all respects, bharata, O son of Bharata, tatparastat, by His grace, Param, transcendental, Shantim, peace, Sthanam, the abode, Prapsyasi, you will get Shashwatam, eternal. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O ocean of Bharata, and surrender unto him utterly. By his grace, you will attain transcendental peace and the supreme and eternal abode. Purport. A living entity should therefore surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in everyone's heart, and that will relieve him from all kinds of miseries of this material existence. By such surrender, not only will one be released from all miseries in this life, but at the end he will reach the supreme God. The transcendental world is described in the Vedic literature, Rig Veda 1.22.20, as Tat Vishnu Paramam Padam. Since all of creation is the kingdom of God, everything material is actually spiritual. But Paramam Padam specifically refers to the eternal abode, which is called the spiritual sky or Vaikunta. In the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it is stated, Sarvasya Chaham Vridi Sannivishta. The Lord is seated in everyone's heart. So, this recommendation that one should surrender unto the super soul sitting within means that one should surrender unto the supreme personality of Godhead, Krishna. Krishna has already been accepted by Arjuna as the supreme. He was accepted in the 10th chapter as Param Brahma Parandama. Arjuna has accepted Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead and the supreme abode of all living entities, not only because of his personal experience, but also because of the evidence of great authorities like Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. The soul and the super soul. The soul has to work to know about the super soul. That is possible only by surrendering onto the Lord. Okay. And having the transcendental knowledge about the Lord, by such surrender, so one will be released from all sort of miseries in this life. And at the end, he will reach the supreme abode. Okay. So in the 15th chapter, it is stated as Sarvasachaham Shridi Sannivishta. The Lord is seated in everyone's heart as a super soul, and our purpose of doing all these things is to know the soul within. Okay, ultimately that will go back to the Godhead in a more purified state. Krishna. Who will read next? Hare Krishna. Arunaksha Prabhu, he said he can't read. Prabhu, you can read now? Arunaksha Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Is my voice audible?
Yeah, a little feeble. Can you make it more audible?
Now, Mataji.
Yes, it is okay now.
Is it okay?
Yes, Prabhu, it is perfect.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Iti te jnanam akyatam guhyat guhyatanam maya vimarshayitad asesena yate sasi tatha kuru. Synonym. Iti thus say unto you, jnanam knowledge, akyatam described, guhyat than confidential, guhyataram still more confidential, maya by me, vimarshaya deliberating, etat on this, asesena fully, yata as, ichasi you like, tata that, kuru perform. Translation and purpose by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada teacher. Thus, I have explained to you knowledge still more confidential. Deliberate on this fully and then do what you wish to do. Purpose. The Lord has already explained to Arjuna the knowledge of the Brahma Bhuta. One who is the Brahma Bhuta condition is
Prabhu, can you
joyful.
please speak a bit louder or put the speaker nearby?
One second, Mataji. Now is it clearly
Yes,
audible?
Prabhu. Yes, it is clear now.
The Brahma Bhuta condition is joyful. He never laments, nor does he desire anything that is due to confidential knowledge. Krishna also discloses knowledge of the super soul. This is also Brahman knowledge of Brahman, but it is superior. Here, the words yatechasi tatha kuru, as you like, you may act, indicate that God does not interfere with the little independence of the living entity. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord has explained in all respects how one can elevate his living condition. The best advice imparted to Arjuna is to surrender unto the super soul seated within his heart. By right discrimination, one should agree to act according to the order of the super soul. That will help one become situated constantly in Krishna consciousness, the highest perfectional stage of human life. Arjuna is being Arjuna is being directly ordered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead to fight, surrender to the surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead is in the best interest of the living entities. It is not for the interest of the Supreme. It is not for the interest of Supreme. Before surrendering, one is free to deliberate on this subject as far as the intelligence goes. That is the best way to accept the instruction of the Supreme Person of Godhead. Such instruction comes also through the spiritual master, the bona fide representative of Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Mataji, thank you.
Krishna. Hare Krishna. Next.
Hare Krishna Mataji, can I continue?
Yes, Prabhu.
सर्वगूयात् ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय सर्वगूयातमं भूया शृणु मे परमं वचा इष्टोऽसि मे धृतं नीति ततो वक्ष्यामि ते हितम्. Synonyms: Sarvaguyatamam, the most confidential of all. Guya, again. Shrunu, just hear. Me, from me. Paramam, the supreme. Vacha, instruction. Ishta, asi, you are dear. Me, to me. Tridam, very. Iti, thus. Tata, therefore. Vakshyami, I am speaking. Te, for you. For your. Hitam, benefit. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. The Prabhupada teacher. because you are my dear, because you are my very dear friend, I am speaking to you my supreme instruction, the most confidential knowledge of all. Hear this from me, for it is for your benefit. Purport: the Lord has given Arjuna knowledge that is confidential, knowledge of Brahman, and still more confidential knowledge of the super soul within everyone's art. And now he is giving the most confidential part of knowledge. Just surrender unto the supreme personality of Godhead. At the end of the ninth chapter, he has said, Manmana, just always think of me. The same instruction is repeated here to stress the essence of the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. This essence is not understood by a common man, but one who is actually very dear to Krishna, a pure devotee of Krishna. This is the most important instruction in all Vedic literature. What Krishna is saying in this connection is the most essential part of knowledge, and it should be carried out not only by Arjuna but all living entities.
Can you give an example, Prabhu, in day-to-day life?
Which is given by Krishna Mataji.
No. With reference to this particular purport.
Like in this purport, Krishna is saying like this is the most confidential knowledge. Please follow me. In that way, what?
Into our day-to-day life. Personal application of this. Whatever we are reading Bhagavad Gita, that personal application should be there, no, Prabhu? How we use that
Yes,
in our
Mataji.
day-to-day life.
Day-to-day life, if you are asking on my own personal thing, Manmana Bhava, I constantly think, Mataji, whatever we do, we are doing this for Krishna service, even if it is not really service. Like if it is service, anyway, it is directly linked to Krishna service, that any other way. If it is not linking or which is involved in our day-to-day mundane task, then we should think that this is, I'm doing this so that I can live better by doing service, or else I don't want to take more tensions about these things, the material things, just to cover up things. And manpava madbhakta, Krishna is saying always think of me. But sometimes we may be captured or engaged in our day-to-day lives, like work or like family connections or different things. That time we can also remember, like sometimes Prabhupada also says, like when you are in your place place of work, you can say that I'm working this so that I can protect the temple, and temple can be managed. I can give some of my money to them so that temple is taken care. In that way we can think of that, and we can focus on Krishna, that because of my work Krishna is engaging me in his service. In that way I can think.
On a personal application, can we say like unless one is surrender onto the Lord, Lord is not instructing him for the Vedic literature, whatever which is required. On a personal basis, is it okay that unless one submissively surrender or they willfully come to know about Krishna, to them only we should say, or we should say to any other who is not interested in Krishna consciousness?
Mataji, actually Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Yare Deko Tareko Krishnopades. That we have to preach to everyone. But 10th offense also, in one of the offenses of the, like 10
Yes.
offenses, it is saying,
Mm,
like, do not preach to the person who is
mm,
ignorant or not so
mm,
much. So,
mm.
what I do is, like, I give a initial explanation about God and its potencies and everything. If there is some positivity or they are attracted, I completely reveal this is the process. If they are like partially accepting and partially rejecting it, and then I give them time and give some scientific understandings of practical solutions of following four regulative principles, following chanting, and I take some time for partial thing, and some people may be completely rejecting this. So I understood that these people are not so much means we I am not so much capable for explaining them, so avoid them explaining those things. Yes,
Hare
ma'am.
Krishna. Very nice, Prabhu. Mm.
Right.
Krishna. Yeah, we'll move on to the next. Who wanted to recite the 65th shloka? Acha, the same thing what you are telling, Prabhu, you continue.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Manmana Bhava Madbhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru Mam Eva Yishyasi Satat Satyam Te Pratijane Priyosmi. Synonyms: Matmana, thinking of me. Bhava, just become. Madbhakta, my devotee. Matyaji, my worshipper. Mam, unto me. Maskuru, offer your obeisances. Mam, unto me. Eva, certainly. Yashyasi, you will come. Satyam, truly. Te, to you. Pratijane, I promise. Priya, dear. Asi, you are me to me. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Always think of me, become my devotee, worship me and offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. Purport: the most confidential part of knowledge is that one should become a pure devotee of Krishna and always think of him and act for him. One should not become an official meditator. Life should be so molded that one will always always have a chance to think of Krishna. One should always act in such a way that all his daily activities are in connection with Krishna. He should arrange his life in such a way that throughout the 24 hours he cannot but think of Krishna. And the Lord's promise is that anyone who is in such pure Krishna consciousness will certainly return to the abode of Krishna, where he will be engaged in the association of Krishna face to face. This most confidential part of knowledge is spoken to Arjuna because he is the dear friend of Krishna. Everyone who follows the path of Arjuna can become a dear friend to Krishna and obtain the same perfection as Arjuna. These words stress that one should concentrate his mind upon Krishna, the very form with two hands carrying the flute, the bluish boy with a beautiful face and a peacock feathers in his ear. These are descriptions of Krishna found in the Brahma Samhita and other literatures. One should fix his mind on this original form of Godhead, Krishna. One should not even divert his attention to other forms of the Lord. The Lord has multi forms as Vishnu, Narayana, Rama, Varaha, etc. But a devotee should concentrate his mind on the form that was present before Arjuna. Concentration of the mind on the form of Krishna constitutes the most confidential part of knowledge. And this is disclosed to Arjuna because Arjuna is the most dear friend of Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Think of me, will ultimately come to you. So this Lord has been stressing in each and individual chapters. Yeah. Hare
Mataji, I
Krishna.
have one question in this.
Yes, yes, please, please.
Prabhupada is confirming and also concluding that we should only think of the two-handed form of Krishna, not even Vishnu Swami, Narayana Swami, Rama Swami. But some devotees like me are not like I am more attracted to Sitaram. I constantly remember them or meditate on them because from childhood I am like attracted to Lord Hanuman and Rama. So like, is that like Prabhupada is saying to think of Krishna and then will that be easy for us to change our meditation in that way?
You have once said Hare Krishna and you're already in Krishna service, Prabhu.
I understand,
You will
Mataji, but
definitely
Rama and
remember Krishna.
Rama
You
and
know,
Krishna are also same, but
same energies of the Lord Prabhu, actually, either Rama or Krishna. Even I say Rama most of the time. I don't know. I have more affinity for that word. But ultimately, we are remembering Krishna. Yeah, it will come, Prabhu. Don't worry. He will take care. We have taken a steps towards him. Now it is his job. How he will get into him. Okay?
okay, Mataji.
Yeah. If you take Ajamila story also, it's so abominable. He'll say only Narayana only. No, he will not say Krishna or Rama. So any form of Vishnu, that should be there. But being a Krishna devotee, we should remember Krishna always. Yeah. Next, who wanted to recite? Yes, Rohini Mataji, you can read.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes,
Shloka 18.66. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo moksha ishyami ma shuchah. Word to word, Sarvadharman, all varieties of religion, parityajya, abandoning mam, unto me, ekam, only, Sharanam for surrender, Vraja go, Aham I, Tvam you, Sarva all, Papebhya from sinful reactions, Moksha Ishyami will deliver, Ma do not, Shucha worry. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. Purport. The Lord has described various kinds of knowledge and processes of religion: knowledge of the Supreme Brahman, knowledge of the Super Soul, knowledge of different types of orders and statuses of social life, knowledge of the renounced orders of life, knowledge of non attachment, sense and mind control, meditation, etc. He has described in so many ways different types of religion. Now, in summarizing Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that Arjuna should not give up all the processes that have been explained to him. He should simply surrender to Krishna. That surrender will save him from all kinds of sinful reactions, for the Lord personally promises to protect him. In the seventh chapter, it was said that only one who has become free from all sinful reactions can take to the worship of Lord Krishna. Thus, one may think that unless he is free from all sinful reactions, he cannot take to the surrendering process. To such doubts, it is here said that even if one is not free from all sinful reactions, simply by the process of surrendering to Sri Krishna, he is automatically freed. There is no need of any strenuous effort to free oneself from sinful reactions. One should not unhesitatingly accept Krishna as the one should unhesitatingly accept Krishna as the supreme savior of all living entities. With faith and love, one should surrender unto him. The process of surrender to Krishna is described in Hari Bhakta Vilas 11.676. Anukulyasya sankalpa pratikulyasya varjanam rakshishyati vishvaso gopatritve varanam tatha atmanikshepa karpanya shadvida sharanagatihi. According to the devotional process, one should simply accept such religious principles that will lead ultimately to the devotional service of the Lord. One may perform a particular occupational duty according to his position in the social order. But if by executing his duty one does not come to the point of Krishna consciousness, all his activities are in vain. Anything that does not lead to the perfectional stage of Krishna consciousness should be avoided. One should be confident that in all circumstances, Krishna will protect him from all difficulties. There is no need of thinking how one should keep the body and soul together. Krishna will see that. One should always think himself helpless and should consider Krishna the only basis for his progress in life. As soon as one seriously engages himself in devotional service to the Lord in full Krishna consciousness, at once he becomes free from all contamination of material nature. There are different processes of religion and purificatory processes by cultivation of knowledge, meditation in the mystic yoga system, etc. But one who surrenders unto Krishna does not have to execute so many methods. That simple surrender unto Krishna will save him from unnecessarily wasting time. One can thus make all progress at once and be freed from all sinful reactions. One should be attracted by the beautiful vision of Krishna. His name is Krishna because he is all attractive. One who becomes attracted by the beautiful, all powerful, omnipotent vision of Krishna is fortunate. There are different kinds of transcendentalists. Some of them are attached to the impersonal Brahman vision, some of them are attached to the super soul feature, etc. But one who is attracted to the personal feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and above all, one who is attracted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Krishna himself, is the most perfect transcendentalist. In other words, devotional service to Krishna in full consciousness is the most confidential part of knowledge, and this is the essence of the whole Bhagavad Gita. Karma yogis, empiric philosophers, mystics, and devotees are all called transcendentalists, but one who is a pure devotee is the best of all. The particular words used here, ma sucha, do not fear, don't hesitate, don't worry, are very significant. One may be perplexed as to how one can give up all kinds of religious forms and simply surrender unto Krishna, but such worry is useless. Hare Krishna.
So, we should
Anything
keep
that we do, if it is not connected to Krishna, it is vain. Hare Krishna Mataji.
not like that. We can say we are in the process of purification to become his devotees.
Yes.
Okay, he will take out that also, but we are a karmis. Somewhere we have to wear out our karmas also, you know. So ultimately, we should get purified enough. Arjuna also, it took around 10 chapter. After 10 chapter of Bhagavad Gita, he has realized, yes, this is what is. We are just ordinary individuals. Any person who's taken a baby step towards Krishna, ultimately they will become purified, but the process has to go on. Shall we take tomorrow this from 67 onwards?
Yes,
Okay.
Mother.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, we are almost near completion. We'll complete probably by tomorrow if everything goes on well, on time. Hare Krishna. Any questions or anything? No? Okay. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna devotees.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you.
Mother.